Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Good morning. Now I can hear myself. Good morning. Sorry, the music bed ended. But we got a full studio of fun, and we got Megan, Tyler, and Lieutenant Ciatos here from Alton Police Department. Good morning. Happy, is it Wednesday?
It is Wednesday. Yeah.
Well, Megan, glad to have you both in studio today, and really just a great conversation talking about officer wellness and just some of the things that maybe we don't think about at home as we're maybe in our warm, cozy house as this weather starts to change, and you guys are out there making sure our streets are safe. And Megan, how do you want to start this off today?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I've come in for other segments, we've kind of touched on that component, but we had some conversation that we really haven't kind of focused on that specifically, so that was kind of the idea behind today. Last week also was the entire month of September, as you know, Suicide Prevention Month, and so last week was law enforcement, EMS, fire. They all have like their own day, and then I think, as you know, I've told you before, what we do in the PD that is wellness focused is actually a first responder suicide prevention grant. And so, yeah, we just wanted to come and kind of talk about what we've been doing, some really good things. So I invited Lieutenant Ciatos today because this second time around on the grant, he's kind of doing some peer coordinator work in the police department. I think we've talked about that before. When you can embed things within, it just seems to be so much more successful. A lot of good ideas and good strategies that come along with that, and so just wanted to have some conversation about it.
Absolutely. And Lieutenant, what does that peer coordinator role look like and sound like?
So a lot of what I'm focused on is like the relation between physical health and mental health. Mm-hmm. So I mean, no one can deny the correlation there, right? And so within our facility, we have really put a lot of through grant funding and things, a lot into our own gym equipment there. We're posting different workouts every day. Putting up, meal prep and things like that. And ideally what we're kind of in this infancy stage that her and I have been working on, and several other guys from the PD that have been involved with me on it, is trying to put together, more of a program to organize more within have larger groups, like as far as classes and pre-planned exercises, things like that, that'll get people out and get them moving. And then they'll go, hey, I can do this on my own.
Right. Well, and honestly, I mean, just the overall police department, and Meg and I have talked time and time again, you guys have had some really tough situations over the last couple of years, and the one that sticks to my mind is when that individual had the backpack and walking down Broadway, and in a lot of other municipalities, there could have been a different response, but you guys are really just above and beyond service and making sure those folks are okay, and bridge scenarios and all of that we don't think about just, that conversation and how in a split second, I'm sure that those situations can go from, we could go either way from that, and now as a group, and just, in your day-to-day, how do you guys kind of, and you personally, navigate those situations and through sacred spaces, through those grants, and getting to know that individual in that situation? And then on top of that, how do you absorb that information and not let it affect you in your day to day? Because no matter what, you're still hearing some pretty bad stuff.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of moving parts to
Yeah.
that, obviously. But so the first part, as far as the CIT program that we've been doing, the Crisis Intervention Team program, okay? The first part of that with working with her is giving us another officer to come out specifically to handle a lot of those calls. A lot of us have talked before in patrol about how the majority of our calls have some type, I'd say well over 50%, have some type of crisis intervention in it. So you can always relate back to it. So with the grant that we've been, blessed to be able to have, what's given us that extra person who's able to come out there, a trained officer for a specific crisis intervention team that's able to go out and handle these crises, and we're still maintaining our manpower, but it's also helping us to do more reach out and community policing, as far as as I'm sure you've noticed, our homeless population has really taken off. I mean, it's more than I've ever seen in all my years down here, and so it's given us an opportunity to try and give assistance in areas where we wouldn't otherwise have those resources. So that's been good. As far as, yes, like you talked about the bridge, you talked about all these different things. And, I think the important thing that we all try to remember is that you're, just like any call that you go on, you're dealing with somebody it's their worst day, right? Like you don't call us because you're having a good day.
That's true. Hey, I
mean?
just won the lottery.
Right. So, that's how you have to handle it. You have to approach it and keep that in mind, and you handle it on a case-by-case basis, and remember that person's an individual, that they're, it's not just a call. There's a person behind that call that you're there for. Yes, are you there to help try and solve a problem, essentially? Yes, you are. But you're also there to try and be there for that person at the same time as solving the problem. So if you can do both, that's the overall goal, right? And so as far as taking it home and affecting you, each guy has to deal with that in their different way, I mean, that's where it comes down to each individual officer and what they find is their outlet, right? Like what they find, whether it's talking to their spouse or a friend or however they do it, through exercise, through healthy decisions, right? Like that's what we're looking for, and that's the big conversation that we've been looking at as you make that first healthy choice, and that it just leads to more,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the stigma within law enforcement is no different than the stigma in the community. Some people might think it's worse, but honestly, mental health is just a messy thing that people don't feel the most comfortable talking about. And when you think mental health, you always immediately go to, you want me to go talk to a therapist. And yes, that's a very good tool, but it's not the only tool. And so what we decided to do also is really look at wellness comprehensively. Like he talked about, there is no distinguishing between physical and mental. That correlation is so strong. So we looked at physical fitness by doing, pretty much outfitting the gym to be brand new, the meal prepping stuff. We looked at sleep habits. We have a wellness room.
That's
where
huge.
Where people can kind of just go in and take a little chill if they need to. And, the way that they rotate schedules and every, department is different is a very quick kind of turnaround with like a 28 day nights. Everybody works nights and days. Some people may not realize that. You don't get I just want to be day shift. So 28 days they rotate between nights and days, which is tough on the body to adjust with sleep habits and routines.
Yeah,
So.
I wanted to touch on that too,
that's fine.
because on top of that, we all have life happen every second of the day, and things get from bad to worse to great to why did it have to get bad, again.
Yeah.
But Lieutenant, when you're navigating your life, and your officers are, because you're taking care of kids and running to school and still doing all the things we're doing. Is there ever been just a routine that you have to kind of ground all of that and to get back in? Because I'm sure that you got to put on a whole different, hat whenever you're going into your role.
Sure, and I mean, again, it's different for everybody, right? And it's easy to say. It's kind of hard to do, right?
Right.
So, I mean, for the majority of my time with the police department, I've been in investigations, which, people think, oh, you have this daytime schedule, but your phone's ringing off the hook all hours of the day from other departments that need your help with this or that. You're getting called out, coming in, and you're working some very long hours at odd times and you still got to be there during the day.
Right.
So it's really hard to keep. I think that schedule was very difficult at times, but and now even in patrol, we're working this set schedule. The point is that no matter what it is, you have to make it a priority, right? You have to prioritize your schedule. Always putting your family first is what we obviously do. We promote that with anybody that has ever worked with me, I'll tell you that's the most important thing to me. If you need time off for this or whatever to be with your family, well, we're going to do everything we can to make that happen, because if you're not right at home and things aren't right at home, you're probably not going to be right at work. And that's what we're looking for, right? Like, so if you prioritize your schedule and you really plan it out, like there's a couple of guys on my shift, we're up, I'm leaving my house at 3:30 in the morning and we're hitting in the gym by 4 o'clock and before shift. So if it's something that's a priority to you, you're going to make the time for it, right? And so your family should be the first priority that you're making, right?
Right.
And you have to take care of yourself too, right? So in order to be the best that you can be for the department, essentially, like, and be the best officer that you want to be and be truly focused, you have to have all this other stuff in order to. It's easier said than done, but that's where she talks about this whole comprehensive approach to health, essentially, to not just mental health, but the whole comprehensive wellness plan.
And it's almost like you have to have like a buffet of options, to be honest. Because when you asked him about a routine, and I kind of like snickered, like, it's almost impossible to really get into a routine. And I think, we bring people in occasionally for trainings, and it's a struggle at times, because when you bring people in from the outside that aren't from a first responder background, we can give all the self-care strategies that we want to in the world, but some of them literally are impossible. Like, that you just can't do them because of the nature of the job and your scheduling and things like that. And so, we do try to make a conscious effort if we're going to bring somebody in to speak, or we're going to try to, do something within the department to try to, provide some of those tools. They need to be realistic tools. If not,
right.
They're really...
I mean, when are you going to be able to just hop up on a plane and go on a vacation for a few days?
Or even just get a normal person's sleep schedule, or anything like that is really impossible. Like, especially like he was talking about detectives with the late night call outs. Sleep deprivation is a very real thing.
Do you know the average number of sleep that someone in a night shift would get? Like, just on the top of your head. I mean, I hate to ballpark that, but that's fascinating.
I wouldn't know the average, but like, I can tell you this: whenever I work nights, I come home and I'm still, as soon as I come home, I'm taking my kids to school. I'm up for 2 hours after my shift before I'm actually get to sleep. And then if you're someone who's trying to keep a schedule, like say you're trying to keep a an exercise schedule, a routine, well, you're waking up to do that before you're going back in again. So but all those things, you just have to, again, like she said, sometimes it's not possible for some people. And you just have to try and figure out where you can work it in. And ultimately, I would be surprised if guys, especially on the night schedule, are getting more than 6 hours.
Yeah, if that. And that's the other thing you have to think about, it being individual, too, because some people just have that nature. Like, I can walk home, my head hits the pillow, and I'm out.
Right.
But a lot of people don't have that hard wiring either. And then, like, if you want to compact that with, like, chronic trauma or PTSD or anything, if anybody's struggling and not really emotionally regulated in the moment, then their quality of sleep, even for those 5 hours that they're getting, is not going to be great. So then,
absolutely,
that's always a factor.
It's 9:15. We're going to take a quick pause here. We got to get right back to it, though. We got a ton happening on this show. You stay there. We'll stay here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts No. 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues,
Ready?
future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina, When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm not even going to lie to you guys. It's 9:17. I love when people just book to come on the show. I don't have to do my job too much, you know. It's just like, man, show's booked for the next month. Look at it. But I was walking down the stairs to the studio, and I saw a female. I didn't know it was Megan yet, and I saw a police officer, and I went, I might have been down this road before. This is scary. I almost ran out of the door before the show started. No, I'm just getting back into this, though. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation because we've talked, Megan, so many times about what APD does, and Lieutenant, to have you, in here is great, and wanted to talk about really this family side of things because, we always, when I talk about veterans and going overseas, we always talk about that additional veteran at home that's, taking care of the home life. And I would assume no different than a police officer's family or any first responders that, you got your loved one at home, maybe taking care of, the home front, working, taking kids to practices and all of that stuff. And then dealing with, you guys are girls in conflict potentially. Is there a strain that can cause on families, and how does that conversation look? And said that was a smile of I have been there before.
It's not easy, man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I also think that it's anybody, right? It's not just us.
Right.
It's any job that you're putting in, that you have this shift work, that you have these hours, right? Is there a certain element of stress that might be a little bit more that goes into it? I think that's a question you'd probably have to ask my wife.
I mean, we as a community, we get to walk on the streets every day and have this relative feeling of at least safety, right? But they're taking care of the home, and you've got this stress on what it does to the relationship. But at the end of the day, every single day, they know that their significant other may not walk back in the door. So I mean, I don't think we can argue that there's not a little bit more brevity to that situation.
I've been doing this for a while, and so I'm very blessed. My wife is no stranger to it. Her brother's been in law enforcement, and so I'm blessed in that regard. And so I might be a little bit different in some of that, but certainly my life does not work without her and everything. When I'm gone, and she's doing and keeping it all together, and keeping the family together, and so that's why it's I always say that you have to put your family first, and because at the end of the day, yes, is this a great job? Yes, do we all love it? Yes, is this what you wanted to do? But your family is going to have to come before this, because at the end of this job, you're going to retire.
Right.
And when you look around, what do you have left? You have your family, right?
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I know a lot of guys who've left the police department and retired, and I have a phone call a couple times a year with them, and that's it, right? So it's your family that's really truly there for you, and so I think that's definitely a good topic to where you may even, talk to some of the spouses of first responders.
100% over.
They would probably be able to give you some really good insight into what that real struggle is really like. You know what I mean? So I know it can't be easy.
Yeah, and we're trying to incorporate the families a little bit more through some events and things. We did a National Police Week kind of event out on the lot last year with food trucks and just games and stuff for the kids. But we also have some conferences that we've attended. So last year we took, I think, 5 officers. We're going again here in a couple weeks to
Wonderful.
It's called the Law Enforcement Officer Wellness Conference, and then we have another one in the spring that's Safety and Wellness. This one that we're going to in a few weeks actually invites the spouses of the officers that are attending as well, so they get to go to workshops on navigating kind of the police life as a spouse and things like that. So we're trying to do more to also kind of reach that side of things.
Not off topic, but kind of just a follow up to that. Is there, because life happens, and who didn't do the dishes before you're supposed to leave in the morning? How do you kind of throw off the marital hat and just go right into, police mode? Because I can be annoyed all day long. I'll just bitch into this microphone for a little bit longer, seriously. But, you got to go right back into this mental focus of, being, fair and going out there and monitoring the community. Is that tough at all for any officers that you've talked to about that? Like, I guess I've always been fascinated by that point alone.
Absolutely. I mean, we're people too, and
Right.
that's what everybody kind of forgets sometimes.
100%.
Is that we can have bad days. It's just important for us, and this is something that we talk about, where we all as peers in the police department support each other. We're having a bad day. Your buddy's going to notice you're having a bad day probably, and they're going to pick you up. You know what I mean? And so when you work with a shift like we do, where you've got a few guys, handful of guys on a shift, if one guy's struggling, we're going to notice it, and we're going to probably help him out, maybe take over a couple of calls, him or her, and do what we can to kind of help them through the shift. You know what I mean? And hear them out and see what's going on with them. If there's something more serious to that, and the supervisor gets involved and asks some questions on what's happening. But that it's because we're people, right? Yeah. Like we're going to go through the same thing that you're going to go through. And you're right. Yeah, we have to kind of be a light switch sometimes. Like when especially in the city of Alton here, we do have a lot of critical incidents that do happen here. Yeah. There is violent crime here in Alton. And so you'll respond to a critical incident, and then an hour later you could be at home bouncing a 2-year-old off your knee, you know what I mean, playing with your kids.
Right.
So it's one of those things that's like you have this light switch. Did you really truly decompress from that or not? And that's part of what I think Megan has been working on too.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think APD does well, but like I don't think there's any department this side, this says we're great at this, because I mean sometimes you have to be, even like you said about your intentionality behind your routine and your scheduling, you have to be intentional about that, because just like you said, you're off the job, you're at home, you got this going on, you're barely done with one call that you might be struggling processing, and then you're off to another. And like even just finding those moments to be able to kind of like debrief and decompress from what you experienced or whatever. I mean, it's very difficult with the pace and the nature. I mean, you may have a slow day, and then you just may have a day on the street that you are just nonstop from the minute you walk in to you leave, and staying over a couple hours to finish reports and everything else. So it's just, you have to be intentional as leaders. Jimmy runs a shift now, and so I think as you become a leader within that environment, intentionality is huge, and your shift is going to notice that when you're watching them and when you're caring for them in the ways that they need to be cared for.
It's really cool though that you guys are just hearing that, where it's like picking each other up, where maybe they drop off a little bit and having a rough day. Well, I'll pick this one up and keep going. Sure. A couple of points just to follow up on that too is those community events like the expos of the world and the 4th of July's. And I'm sure that, there's a lot of things happening, but to be a part of the community, do you guys like those opportunities to kind of, even though you're still patrolling, it's more of that kind of, walking around, maybe having a few chats with some of the citizens. Do those things help ever, when it comes to
any interaction that we have with the community that's, in a positive way, right? When people come up and talk to us and say thank you for your service, things like that, it goes a long way. Like, I mean, it can't be underestimated by any means. Those big events that you're talking about, they come with a lot of stress.
Yeah, they do. I bet.
So, I mean, it's not just the actual work, but it's looking for what's going on that you don't necessarily see during those events.
Yeah.
And so while everybody's out there enjoying themselves, there's things that are happening within the crowd or nearby that we're responding to and going to that no one really necessarily realizes that we're doing and looking for. So,
not to mention that it's also mandated, so they don't get a choice of whether they work those events ever. Like it's fireworks, the entire PD is on under all circumstances. You can't ever ask for time off. Halloween parade,
same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't realize that it was a all hands on deck type of scenario.
All hands.
And honestly too, that just hearing you talk a little bit too, Jimmy, and Megan, is about the fact that we all get into bad moods, and it's inconvenient, if your sticker's expired and all that, and you're pulled over. But I feel like sometimes as people, we need to do a better job too on like traffic stops sometimes. And I watch those things all the time, just kind of taking a chill pill and knowing that the guy knocking on the window actually lives and breathes just like we do, or girl, and. Because we're not, we're all kids and get pulled over once, and it's like, man, that guy was a jerk. He gave me that speeding ticket. But
it would be nice if there was a little more compassion. But nobody really likes people that enforce the laws. Like they went into that knowing that they didn't go into this career thinking they were going to be the most liked.
I feel like though, Megan, there needs to be a conversation at these high schools on how to interact with public officials.
Absolutely.
and that's kind of where
for
I'm
safety
getting at.
even more so than anything else.
Because it's just not. Sometimes it just kind of bothers me a little bit. And getting into this, this. Trauma-related things and just some of the things that you're going through, and definitely don't want to go down any rabbit holes or anything, but just overall and generalizing, because there's a lot of critical situations that happen in Alton throughout the year compared to other small towns of our population. Whenever you guys are navigating, trauma, or maybe, someone gets hurt, or, there's an event that happens, what are the steps that you go through with, your individual team and just the overall department in itself too? Because I couldn't imagine, you're in the split second trying to secure a scene, but you're also worrying about, your partner, your friend, your brother or sister, that's in law enforcement that could be hurt, injured, or who knows what else.
Yeah. Sure. I can speak on the macro level, and then I'll let you take the details.
Cool.
I mean, basically, it depends on the severity of your incident and what's going on, because sometimes there's like investigative processes and protocols that have to be followed no matter what. And so it could be in the moment, it could be after the fact. So the department's going to have department-wide kind of protocols on, if we experience this type of incident, like this is how we are processing it as a department, and these are the steps that we're putting in place. But then like each patrol shift that might have been working for that specific incident, those supervisors are going to have ways that they kind of wrap around their guys and how we pull together and debrief some of that and process some of it. But the trauma, and I'll let you talk about it, is, we don't see the average things that they see every day with, just the sights that they see. You can walk away from incidents and you don't forget the smells and the sounds and what people looked like, and I mean, God forbid it end up being somebody that you may even personally know or something like that. Yeah. So, that chronic trauma, you can bury it, to a degree, but just like that mind-body correlation, like if you're experiencing exhaustion, if you have pain going, or chronic pain, like all this kind of stuff, if you're not sleeping, that's your mental and emotional state. That's your physical body responding to your mental and emotional state, right? Because we kind of tried to process it maybe in more unhealthy coping, ways. And so I don't know if you want to speak more to that. I know you're smiling about something, so I'm sure there's... Well,
I mean, it depends on what you're asking, right? It depends on the situation. There is policies that we follow for every type of response, right? Like we operate with a guidebook.
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, after the, I can't believe this just happened moment, because that happens. We had it recently, right? Yeah. There's a whole step-by-step process that's involved, right? And slowly that's changed now. We're taking steps in a better direction as far as how we're debriefing these situations and having conversations after the fact. Before, we never really used to do a lot of that. And I know Detective Wimmersberg, I know he wanted to be here today too, and that's one of the things that he's really kind of looking at and taking into and starting this. Because at the end of the day, whenever we're doing these big debriefs, it tends to be a massive critical incident that affects a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. With that said, our guys are seeing critical incidents at least once a week. Maybe not to that magnitude, but critical incidents that you're probably not going to experience, but maybe a couple of times in other smaller places, right? And so he's made this conscious effort to say, okay, we have to start debriefing some of these situations and scenarios. One, it's going to make us better, right? And then two, it's also the wellness factor. So, I think that we have taken some steps in the last few years that are dramatically different to the approach that we've had before, and I think it's a positive thing moving forward, and hopefully we continue down that path.
And you're creating a stronger police force and healthier people at the same time. There's no distinction, because just like you talked about with coming from family, into switching into the job mode, when you're debriefing those incidents, you're going back out stronger tactically, but you're also going out healthier emotionally and mentally and physically. And so there's really, no going wrong with processing that kind of stuff.
Well, and that's why, Megan, just having those opportunities for the public to learn more, and that's why I always love having you on the show and talking about upcoming opportunities here in a second. Getting into that too, there's always seminars and classes that you do and speaker series. When's the next one coming up, and what is it going to be about? Because we've been talking for 30 minutes, and I know that we got to get back into the grindstone here. But, I just want the public to know about this, because the more that we can talk openly, I feel like that's how we can solve, maybe some more of these, not problems, but just make some of these things a little bit better.
Yeah. So we've been partnering with Hainer Library for over a year now. Yeah. So we're getting ready to start a fall speaker series. It's every other Wednesday evening starting on October 9th. So through the months of October and November. It's going to be various providers coming in. I believe the very first week is going to be on drug trends and a lot of substance use conversation. Wow. We're doing one on kind of healthy relationships and boundaries.
Is opioid, are we still up in Madison County for opioid overdoses?
Yeah, wow, I don't think, we haven't really declined there whatsoever. We've got more tools in our belt to deal with some of the overdose situations, but yes, it's still happening. So healthy relationships and boundaries. We have one talking a lot about trauma and kind of how to hopefully potentially make those healthier choices and like healthier coping ways of coping. And then we have one on, which I think will be a good one at the end, where we're just talking about navigating like our systems of care. Like when you're, and we've had so many conversations about how difficult that is. And I think that's something too, like with the efforts we're doing for CIT, we're not here to be the provider of those services. Like we don't have those resources. We're not the therapists. We're not the treatment centers. But what we're trying to do is ease the load a little bit and see if we can get people linked to those things. So we still have a very big issue to deal with in this community, which is the fact that we don't have significant enough resources for the need. And so there are still days that can be very defeating and very frustrating because we have limited resources, but we literally can't get individuals in the door. We can't get beds available for some of our people who are in crisis, and that's still, a real struggle that also adds stress and to the daily
Absolutely.
grind, so,
And before I let you go, Lieutenant, I've seen some of the newer recruits on the Facebook page and love to see that.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, when they start looking at your routines going on and some of the workouts that you're providing, some meal prep, how quickly are they going to bulk up? Because, I just wanted to throw that out there. Because
I get it. You'd be amazed at what happens in the academy, right?
I bet, man. Well, and how important is it to, for folks that don't realize, exercise and that healthy lifestyle, because, and obviously, I am not in the shape of a police officer. There's no way I'm getting past a physical. But, for folks that maybe, were in the department for 20 years, life happens, you get a little bit older. When they start to try those healthier routines, maybe with the healthier eating, and just for all of us in general, too, how important is that just to not only start the day, but to keep you going whenever it's a downpour at 3 a.m. and we still got to work?
Sure. Yeah, it's multiple facets, right? Like I went through all of that.
Yeah.
I had, I was that guy that you're describing, right? And then I just made a conscious choice that I had to change. Like this wasn't who I wanted to be. And so we make that effort and you change. But I think it's important. You got to think about a couple of things, right? Like if I'm in a situation to where I'm having to chase somebody or whatever the case may be, where's my backup at? Is he able to get to me? And when he arrives, is he or she able to actually help me? Or now am I more worried about them because they're not in the shape they should be? But then, you take it to a step past that just from the actual, like, hey, this is what our job requires us to do. We're the only job in the entire city that requires you to have some of that hands-on physicality of part of your job as far as, maybe chasing somebody or something like that, right? And that is the aspect of, like, what we talked about between the mental health and the physical health connection. So, right, like, look good, feel good, right? You know what I mean? So you're putting good in, you get good out, and that's really what you're looking for. Like I'm nowhere near the most fit guy in the entire department. There's guys that are super fit and nutritionists and everything else. They're fantastic. And they're just a wealth of knowledge. And so now everybody's kind of sharing this information, and it's starting to catch on, and that's what we're looking for.
And when it comes to nutrition, like you're fueling your body, right? So there's so much, that we know about what food does to your mood and how it can alter both positive
Always
and
been
negatively.
told,
So
Megan, an energy drink and snack sticks are every breakfast of champions.
I've seen what's in here, and I haven't commented until now, but
Before I let you go, I gotta ask. Every officer I ask one. I always ask the same question: is there one call that was actually comical, that wasn't like making fun of anybody, tongue in cheek, that you're just gonna remember for being a cute call? Because I always get a couple of good stories a year out of this.
I can think of a few. I don't know how appropriate they are for this, but there was one night that I'll remember when I was probably maybe less than a year on, and every call I went to for I wouldn't say every, but about 4 calls in a row, for some reason every at least one person on that call was completely naked. Have no idea when we showed up, didn't have anything, and it was really weird. And of course we laughed about it afterwards. We're like, that was real, like, why would you answer the door that way, or what, whatever the case was. But so there's just different things that happen that are, you you can still enjoy, it's human nature, right? Like people are funny and
that's
things
part of,
happen.
we didn't really talk about kind of compartmentalizing things.
Yeah.
I mean, you deal with a lot, so there's a lot of comical,
you have to have
within, you have to. You wouldn't survive
You don't laugh,
without
you
it,
cry,
so,
right?
Yeah. Yep. Feels that way sometimes.
Seriously, thank you all so much. And Dan Brandon, can you give me your driver license plate number so I can switch mine before Lieutenant leaves? While I have you guys, Megan is partnering up with Hainer Library, and you need to get your library card. You can just save big on Netflix. Throw that junk out of the window. You can get ad-free, for free streaming on movies and TV with Biblio Plus for free with your Hainer Library card, the Creative Bug app, the resource guides, consumer guides, plus the genealogy and local history department. You get access to events and information with partnerships like Sacred Spaces of Care and so much more, plus the library of things. Your kid's calculator breaks a day before the test. Quit fighting the lady at Walmart for that $80 return. Go over to Hainer, get the calculator, and bring it back for free at HainerLibrary.org. That's HainerLibrary.org.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got a showing.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now. You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Today. 941, welcome back. Tyler, save me because I can't breathe.
No, I can't either.
It's the room. I'm telling you, I think that they're just, it's a slow poisoning is what's happening down there.
I'm about to say, something in the air for sure.
Poisoning the airwaves is what I'm doing. Tyler, welcome back. You've had a busy fall.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How are you doing, buddy?
Not too shabby. We got a lot of new programs coming up at the Wood River Rec Center.
Let me ask you, is it Wood River Parks and Recreation?
Yes.
Okay, because I always say park, and I always just Park and Rec. I spelt it Parks and Recreation. I'm hanging in there. But you guys had a busy summer, too, out there.
Yeah, so we had a busy summer with our Camp Auto, which we'll have again next summer. So stuff that will come out in the beginning of January. So anyone that's looking for a place for their kiddo 1st through 6th grade next summer, definitely give that a shout out. We also currently...
When does early bird start for that? Because I know that's a pretty...
That would be like in January. So around the beginning, as soon as the new year comes, I'll have that in the schools and all that stuff. So I'm already ironing out field trips, and we'll go on a field trip every Friday next summer. And I'm hoping to grow it. I want to double the size. That's the goal. But some of the field trips that I'm trying to line up, it's going to be a fun summer.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So what's this you got cooking with pickleball?
So one of the events that we have coming up, so we're shifting. We always, when people think Parks and Rec and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of people always think of like youth. And so I feel like that middle age or like adults, they kind of get left out more times than not. So there's not a lot of things. So we recently have added a lot. So we did a pickleball tournament back in July. So we have our second pickleball tournament, which it's our fall or autumn classic. And then that will be November 2nd and 3rd. And then for $50, you can play on Saturday and Sunday. So
really cool.
Yeah, so very cheap. And then we'll do women's doubles first on Saturday morning, starting at like 8. So depending on how many people we have, guaranteed 4 games, get a T-shirt, and also top 3 teams get a medal. So that's going to be really cool. But then on Sunday, mixed doubles won't start until 12. So then those that want to go to church and kind of rest, have a slower start from playing so much on Saturday and still turn around and play on Sunday. I know. After about 5 games, I'm capped out. I can't do much more than that.
You know, I couldn't do it. There's no way because I don't move quick. I'm somebody that just needs a couple of steps to get going.
Don't play singles. Play doubles. So that's the first one we got going on with the pickleball tournament coming up, which if anyone has any questions about any of these, always reach out. The other thing we have on Friday nights starting in December is we're doing a 5v5 basketball league.
Really?
Yeah, so there's not too many adult leagues around here for basketball. So we're really getting that up and going. It's gonna be a fun way to spend your Friday night.
Better than drinking all day long.
Oh, I would second that. And then everyone's always like, oh, I could do this and that. Time to put your money where your mouth is and come play some basketball.
Well, and I like this too. I mean, it's 5v5 at 6, 7, and 8 p.m. Are the game times. December 6th, 13th, 20th, and January 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th. Now, you have a few weeks to get your team together. And it's only $5 per person if I do the math right?
So it depends. So realistically, I don't know about you, CJ, but if I'm playing 5v5 basketball, it's 2 18-minute halves. I can't play longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah, no.
So count me out after that. So team rosterized, you can have 10 to 12.
That's a good point.
So then now you're doing it's like a hockey line change. It's like, okay, line 2, I need a breather, I need a water break.
Right.
So that's the more roster. I don't think I could play a full 18 minutes without needing a sub. Right. So that's the goal on that. And then for those that have a business or anything that want to sponsor a team, that's what a lot of our softball teams, they get someone's like car dealership or they get someone's like business, and then that's what they use for the sponsor. Now for our basketball leagues, we don't offer jerseys or any of that
stuff. I
assume,
yeah. I just want to point out, sorry, Tyler. I did the math. Oh, you guys can't see that. $62.50 per person on a team of 10. I could have just, I didn't have to write that out. I don't know why I just wrote that.
But I'll say that.
I felt like I did something.
Hey, the effort was there. But I mean, I just signed up for a indoor soccer league, and that's the same prices on that right there. I think for my indoor team it was like $68 a person.
Looking at this now, I could have easily done the math in my head. I just want to throw that out there. I just wanted to see if I could still do longhand. So lace up those Jordans. Rosters 5 to 12 players.
Yep.
And then you get a guarantee of 6 games.
And then top 4 teams make playoffs.
What are is it like a bracket style playoff thing?
Yeah, so the playoffs would be one night. So like the
it's a one-night playoff?
Yeah, so it'd be 1 play 4, then 2 play 3. And then the championship will play that night. So we're knocking it out.
And for someone who's never been to the rec center, this is a good time to find your excuse. This
absolutely.
is right at the rec center. Great courts too. Is there an early bird discount or anything like that?
Not for this one.
I like that.
We're still taking. I think we already have 2 teams signed up. So we realistically 8 is the goal. Yeah. So don't wait. Make sure you go ahead and get your team signed up and go ahead and get on over. The other adults, I'm carrying on with all the adults.
Oh, keep going, man.
So not only do we have the pickleball tournament coming up, basketball league, we're also doing an adult volleyball league.
Really cool,
for Sunday evenings, we're going to do an adult volleyball league. My co-worker, good old Dixon, is overseeing that league. And I'm not sure. I think he already has a handful of teams in that too. So definitely keep your eye open for that. And I mean, we people want something to do.
I like this.
Yeah.
I want to go into this more because there's a place down in Daytona Beach, and they did it's like a volleyball game and all that in the pool. I was the jerk that was ready to spike it in those kids' faces, and all that. But you have 2 options.
We got options.
You got recreational, which says no spiking allowed for $325 per team, 10-game season of playoffs. But you got competitive too, where you can spike the hell out of that thing.
So about say, it's the same thing. The main thing a rec center should be a place for all ages, not just youth, not just pickleball, like all ages to come to go ahead. Because I mean, let's face it, you go to other countries, like they're all active and it shows. So
well, and recreating can be different for folks. I mean, because there's some that want to have a leisurely activity, and there's some that want to
be competitive.
And now you have an atmosphere for both sides, and that's really cool.
One thing, backtracking.
Please.
The basketball league too. So, because I did have someone reach out and we were talking about, and we're having a co-ed league, or if you want to have an all-female team, like females are more than welcome to do this basketball. Like there is no just a straight men's team. Like
gotcha.
If you have your team and you have a hooper, it doesn't matter who that hooper is. Get them over. 'Cause I personally know a few girls that I would definitely want on my team.
Well, and to it, you're right. I mean, you were 100% right about that. And that starts what day? Basketball starts December 6th?
Yeah, basketball will be December 6th, and then the volleyball actually starts that same week. Right
what I'm
before.
looking at.
Yeah.
Volleyball is on Sunday nights. It's adult co-ed, 16 and over, running from the Sunday, which is December the 1st. It is wild that we are less than 2 months away to December.
Facts.
And not a good fact. And then we got February 9th is that last Sunday. But game times are 5, 6, 7, and 8 p.m. Register your team online. How many in a team?
I want to say at least 6.
Okay.
6, but about the same. 6 to 20. Yeah, it just depends.
Man, that's really cool then. That's a very affordable league.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to max out your roster on either. If you want to have like 7 or 8, it's always good to have that. Like, I've definitely been called the night of and be like, hey, so-and-so, CJ's coughing too much. You can't play. I need a sub. And then, so it's always good to have those people that you could reach out to last minute.
That's very true. With that being said, volleyball coming down the pipeline. That starts Sunday, December the 1st, but register before Wednesday, November the 30th. And you can do so at wrparks.org. What else is coming down the pipeline?
So we just added, we tried to get this going not too long ago, but then now I think we got everything going. So we're going to do sessions. So we got a martial arts class, little workshop coming up, the pipeline for that. So if you're interested in martial arts, we got all ages. So 5 to 7. 8 to 14, and then adults 15 plus.
Really
so,
cool.
If you have something you want to get into, we're offering more and more for our fitness classes. Like we just added a hula hoop class. Abby Hobart is doing that at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings.
That's a hell of a workout.
And then, it's been, she started off, she had one person. I was like, just give it time.
Yeah.
Last week, she's already up to 6, and it's only been a few weeks. And I was like, I won't be surprised if it comes next year, she's going to be up to 20.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun, no one wants to just work out. Like, people want to have fun when they work out. Hula hooping's a great way to do that.
100%. And so is, well, especially for martial arts, too, because, I mean, any adult, I love this idea of having this for, all ages, 5 to 7, 8 to 14, but especially for this adults, for 15 or over, and I'm sure, 40s and 30-year-olds can go to the adult side of things too, but what it does to their mental health, because I mean, hell, you're 40 years old, you're working 9 to 9 jobs, and you're trying to maintain a family, you're going to get defeated. But to have a, 45-minute block, it looks like, to really work on yourself and just to kind of get the stress out, it goes a long way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that now we have this, like, we have a new person that's overseeing all our fitness classes, Patty, who's amazing. She's already been there. She's one of our best instructors. All of our instructors are awesome, let's face it. But she's really passionate about fitness, and then so she actually offers personal training classes too. So if you're looking for that extra, like, hey, I just want to work out with someone, I don't really know what to do, don't know what skill, she's the girl for you. She can help you out on that regard.
Well, and I love this too, because I read this wrong. I thought it was 70. I thought a class was a session. So I was like, $70 per session. So I'm like, 8 times 70, that's 100. No. 8 classes are per the session. The sessions run November 21st through January 23rd. Session 2, February 6th through February 27th. And then that final session starts April the 10th, 2025, and runs until May 29th. But it's $70 for that one session, so you get 8 classes for $70.
That's a steal.
You couldn't find that anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And man, there's so many kids that want to do karate and martial arts and stuff that the parents just simply can't afford right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great option.
Yeah. And then one thing, how much time we still got, CJ?
You got tons.
Okay.
The floor is yours, Senator.
The other thing that's wild, so I was checking all the programs, and I check it every day I come in. I was like, okay, how are numbers looking? So we just started this is the first time we've ever done it. We're doing a volleyball clinic for middle school. It's their preseason, so their season starts right when they get basically back from winter break, right?
Right.
So I was like talking to Eades, trying to figure out a good time. So we're offering a 4-week, it's a 2-hour on Sunday for this volleyball, and I was really going to push it, but I went to go check to see how many signups we still need. We sold out.
Oh.
So we're maxed out for that volleyball clinic at 50 kids. We can't fit anymore. So I mean, I love that. Like, man. That's a good thing for a first time offering a program, and then for parents that are looking for other middle school programs, that's the plan to go into the spring to offer like a little preseason, and again, very affordable, $40 for just a little 4-week clinic. And I mean, one clinic. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No, you're good. I got a thought here, but I'll wait.
The other, so we have that for the middle school kids. So keep your eye out for other middle school clinics, and they go fast because if you look at other middle school clinics that they're trying to send their 6th grader to and get them ready for their season, they're like $120, $200 plus dollars.
It's insane.
They're money hungry. We're not money hungry. We want to offer affordable. The main person that helps me with this is my friend Micah Jones, who played basketball at SIUE. So, I mean, you have a D1 athlete out there, along with myself helping, and then we have other local volleyball players at high schools that are coming to help out with this clinic. So you're in great hands doing clinics like this.
You're 100% right. And it actually goes into my point that we are failing at sports tourism so badly. We always talk about like the Cardinals and stuff. Build these facilities, because there's so many. I mean, all these families, man, they travel 4 or 5 states away to go to a volleyball clinic or go to a soccer tournament or go do these things.
And they're paying out the wazoo.
It's insane what these municipalities and clubs are making. A tournament is like thousands of dollars for soccer.
Oh, yeah.
I know that for a fact because we just paid our bill. But it's like, to do this, you guys have the space, and to provide that, man, do it and run with it.
And what people don't realize more times than not, I think, everyone wants the tournament. Everyone wants to a game. You get better at practice.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The games is the best few players are touching the ball the most. They're shooting the most. They're involved the most. But when you do little clinics like this and you focus on the core skills, now your player that was okay, now that okay player is a good player, and then now your good player is now a great player.
You're
so
right.
You're just moving the skill level. So then when they get to middle school, get to high school, they have more of those core skills.
Well, and for parents that go, well, my kid's already on a team, I don't need to find a clinic. I always use the analogy of you're on a team with your best salesperson in the area, and all of a sudden you guys are both really good. Well, he's been there the same amount of time you are. So what do you need to do to add your experience level? You need to do a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So you need to go do an additional clinic, and you need to do those things because you both are getting good at practice at the same time. But what are you doing while they're watching TV?
What are you doing outside? What are you doing outside?
Yeah, I love that, man. So that's a really good opportunity, and it's already sold out, so we can't really talk about it. But
well, we have another one,
Oh.
but for younger kids.
Oh, okay. When's that one?
A younger one, not a volleyball. So volleyball sold out, but we are still taking signups, and I think we're at half capacity right now for our basketball
nice.
clinic. So that will be, again, my friend Micah Jones helped me along with myself. You can't teach me, you can't count on me to do volleyball, but I can teach basketball. So at least up to 5th grade. And then, our basketball clinic's coming right up around the corner too. And so sign-ups are for that. So we have a K through 2nd, and then 3rd all the way through 6th. And then that's another 4-week clinic, and we're for the K through 2nd. We actually lower the hoops to 8 foot, so they're not just launching it as high as they can. So it's
that's a good point.
So it is working on those core skills, and I mean the kids have a hoot. Like I look forward to those clinics myself. Like that. That's not a day at work for me. That's absolutely
fun.
that is enjoyable.
It really is. And now, what's this after school program you're rocking with?
I'm glad that you asked. So, after school program. So both, and this is for East Alton, Hartford, and Wood River. So this isn't. Unfortunately, we were unable to negotiate any busing like that. But you can actually get added onto a bus route where you get dropped off at the rec center, and then you get picked up at the rec center later. So they ride the bus just like they would ride the bus home, and then they come and we play in the gym, we play at the playground, we play in our gymnastics room. So it's we offer homework help. The kids, like, we have some scooter games that we play upstairs, like, those scooters. Like, those kids love those scooters. We play hockey, you name it. The kids have a hoot. But it's just getting the word out more about it.
So just so I can so we can get, just in case the public has any misconceptions. So the bus will pick them up from Lewis and Clark Elementary, Lewis and Clark Junior High, or East Alton or Eastwood Elementary, East Alton Middle, or Hartford Elementary. It takes them to the rec center.
Yep.
Where does it take them afterwards?
So, no, the bus just drops them off just like they go, and then the parent comes to the rec.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so to pick them up.
Okay, I love this. So, because honestly, so many parents are working past 5 o'clock anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
It just seems like ever since COVID, everyone's working later.
The other thing, so what we're doing, because we really want to get kids, and what this is we want the rec center to be a place where it's a community where people come to go. So even on half days, where like this past Friday, we had a half day, so the kids got out at 11:30.
Yeah.
So we don't do any additional charge on those half days. It's just, if you want to do the one day, see how it is, $15, and then now they can come at 11:30. They can stay all the way till 5:30, and more times than not, the kids don't want to leave.
Well, and that's a good point too on those half days, because man, there's a lot of single families out there that rely on grandma and grandpa or uncle and best friend or neighbor, and whenever it's a lot of stress, and to know that now, hey, as a single mom, dad, you name it, you can not have to worry about taking that day off of work because your kid's got a half a day.
Yeah.
They're going to be there until 5:30 p.m. That's a good incentive on half days. You aren't
absolutely.
like in at 2:45. It's $50 per week or $15 per day, but what I think's better about this too is, especially in the world of social media and what smartphones can do to, especially a child by themselves, to have this supervision in that environment's really huge. Yeah,
and then the person that oversees that is Denise at Aftercare, and Denise is amazing. So it's like the the mom that you never want to disappoint, but she's all fun, and then you do something, and then she just gives you that look, and you're like, I messed up. So she definitely has that power.
So can they join at any time?
Yeah, so it could be where you call me that Friday before and it's like, hey, we want to try out Monday, and we want to come Tuesday. So we have a few kids that come Tuesday, Thursday. We have a handful of kids. They go all week, and then so I work with them, and I try to make it as cost efficient as possible.
Yeah.
So if you're coming 4 days, it's cheaper for you to just pay for the whole week, and then you're not coming on that Friday. Or if you only want to come 2 days, then it's cheaper for you to do that compared to pay. So I'm easy to work with, and if you do sign up, I made sure you get my work cell, and I'm easy to get a hold of in that regard.
Really cool. Really cool. And then what else is coming down the pipeline? We have a couple of minutes left, but let's got a Rolodex.
Oh,
going.
I know.
I
I'm
love
over here.
this,
Boom,
man.
boom, boom,
Keep
boom,
going.
boom. So now, still piggybacking off of what we have going on. So we do on Fridays, which this has been bumping. I'm telling you, CJ, bumping. For our Play With Me. So our gymnastics instructor, Lindsay, she came up with this idea. And so it's a Play For Me, so preschool. So kiddos 5 and under can come and they can just roll around, have a good time in our gymnastics room, which is really awesome. So that's on Fridays from 10 to 11:30. It's just $5, and they can come have a good time. Now it's not a drop off; the parent has to be with them.
Right.
But I mean, it's awesome in that regard.
What are the
and
ages?
then for that one's 5 and under.
Oh.
And then
I would hope you would not drop a 5-year-old off and keep. You never know anymore.
You have to clarify. You always have to clarify. And then so we do have. It's becoming more and more common too for homeschool. Being a thing.
Yeah.
So we do have quite a few. I know there's a family always comes in from like Brighton, and we have a few other ones. But we offer a homeschool open time gym where they can come and hang out in the gymnastics room too. And then that's also on Fridays, but that one's from 12 to 1.
And that's for ages 5 to 10.
Yep.
$5 per child. Yet again, it's homeschool open gym time Fridays, noon to 1, 5 to 10-year-olds, and then $5 a child. And we'll link everything in that.
Oh yeah, and then the last little bit we have going for you, CJ, is we are volleyball registration for Tri-City. It ends this Friday, but basketball registration that will start at the beginning. So practice with that will start in January.
Okay.
So we'll pit teams together towards the end of December. But that one, we're taking registrations for that. So make sure that you get signed up for all that too.
But wait, there's more.
Only a handful. This one's been around. For those, I know the winter's coming up. I know the parks, obviously, it's hard to do anything cold outside. Don't forget that a perfect place to have a birthday party is the Wood River Rec Center. We have different packages ranging from the sports package where you just get one full-size basketball court. We have a gymnastics package where you get the gymnastics room and a party room. Or if you can't make up your mind on what one you want because they're both so good, then you can do the hybrid and you can have one court and the gymnastics room and you get a party room.
What are those rates? That is unheard of. Are you serious? Listen to this. So for the sports package, that 2 hours of access to the half gym, party room, assortment of sports equipment, that's $150 per resident, $200 non-resident. That gymnastics package, $175 per resident, or $225 for non-residents. Hybrid package with it all, the whole kit, caboodle, and kitchen sink is only $200 for residences and $250 for non-residences. Why are you getting excited, CJ? Because those birthday venues are absolutely astronomical.
Insane.
It really is. And see, that's what I mean. Seriously, the whole team with what you guys are doing is so cool because you're able to provide all of those things that would be just, especially in 2024, whenever cereal's $20 a box, damn near $8 a bag, being serious, is to have affordability and have affordable options for families in all aspects. And you guys at the Park and Recreation Department are just kicking ass right now, man. That's awesome.
I'm about to say we're definitely between myself, Dixon, Pat, and then having Patty, and then we have all our other workers that help us out. I mean, it's night and day when what people can think of an idea and it's okay, now we're going to run with it.
Man, Tyler, that's awesome. We'll link everything on an article on RiverBender.com. We are almost back to time. Sorry I pushed you back a little.
It's all good. It's all good. We're fine.
10:05. For more information, wrparks.org. That's wrparks.org. And stay tuned to Riverbender. We'll write it all up and make sure you get all the information. We're rolling past top of the hour news. It's 10:05. Lacy McDonald next.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. .09. Welcome back. 100 years ago, a runaway train, and about 100 minutes ago, lots of water. Lacy, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, man. I got that I think I had COVID and just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it, but I knew I was sick. But it's
Yeah.
like, you got to weigh out the pros and cons of life. And it's like, can I afford to take a day off?
God, CJ, that's awful.
The answer is
Welcome
no.
to America.
I can't afford to take a day off right now. So I was there, but I have like this long hauler COVID is what we're finding out. And it's kind of rough. I mean, I have been getting my butt smoked, but I'm doing good today. Doing good today. You're here, and we're going to talk about a runaway train.
Yeah.
You know how many times I just thought, how great would it be to just sit on the back of a train and let it take you somewhere?
It probably depends where it's taking
Then
you.
you got to realize that you still need to eat food and shower, and then it's not that fun.
Yeah, briefly fun to just get on a train and let it take you somewhere.
My grandpa, Charlie, used to tell me, when they lived down on Dago Hill on McClure Street, and they would ride the train from the box boards all the way down, that little, and just use it as fun. So they'd like chase the train, hop on it, and run. And I'm thinking, okay, obviously a lot more dangerous games were being played back in the 30s and 40s, but that's still kind of
like it's sounds fun. This is one of those situations where people are like, it's fine because I'm still alive. And you're like,
Exactly.
that's because you're still here to talk about it. The dead people can't tell this story.
Do not jump on any moving vehicle.
No.
Did you look into that? I did not. I failed.
What?
I failed. I was supposed to send you that picture of the train that was in front of
that's
PV
right.
Mill. God
Yes.
dang it. I
All
was going to
right.
blame you.
Well, next
Now
time
it's
you
my
can.
fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what happened with this runaway train?
Okay, so there used to be tracks right through downtown Alton and on Piasaw, what is now Piasaw Street. So it was a street, but it was also train tracks in the middle of it. And at that time, there was a train the Union Depot in downtown Alton was like right by the river. So there were passenger trains coming through. There were freight trains coming through. A lot of stuff was happening in downtown Alton. And on this day, well, on the day that I was talking about, September 17th, not on this day, September 17th, 1924, all of a sudden, 8 empty boxcars and an empty coal car just came flying down the tracks. And they were first at a switch on Upper Piasaw Street. So a switch is one of the places where the train tracks, like 2 tracks will come together and you have to change which direction they're going. So they were
Did you
parked
see
up
that
there.
YouTuber that is going to jail for a long time? That idiot.
No, what happened?
He switched the tracks on a train on purpose and filmed it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he's going to be hanging out with the state for about 10-15 years.
Where was that?
I forgot, but it was a couple of weeks ago, and he literally filmed himself. He switches the track and then films the train as it's going through and thinks it's cute.
Gosh, that is so dangerous.
It was very bad.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
That's, yeah.
So it was such a squirrel moment, but I'm like, that is pretty much a tie-in in mine,
Well, and that's, I mean, things like this can still happen where a train is going somewhere it's not supposed to be going.
And honestly, back then, I'm not being funny about this, but you don't have split-second notifications of what's happening in town.
Right.
So if there's a, quote-unquote, runaway train and you don't know about it, you don't know until you see the darn thing going by you.
Yeah. And that's what happened. So there was going to be a passenger train going northbound at 10. This was right...
Rich Lloyd, I love you. Hold on.
Oh, what?
I found the picture. Told you.
This is the Amtrak.
That was the Amtrak in front of PV Mill. That is definitely downtown Alton, the PV Mill.
Right.
Isn't that so fascinating?
It is so fascinating, and I could use a lot of the things on there to date when that was. But not off the top of my head. So I haven't seen the photo. I'll have to look at that.
I just had to uphold my end of the agreement here. Let me save that just so I don't forget.
Yeah, save it. And I'll look into that more later.
Sorry, I'm like, I owe Lacy this photo.
No, it's okay. At first I was like, wait, there's another runaway train? What is happening? Yeah, so that one wasn't 100 years ago.
No, it was not.
But I will update y'all on that one next time.
Perfect.
We'll just do a whole train series. Yeah, so yes, you're right. So in this case, it was just before 10 p.m. and then there was going to be a northbound passenger train at 10 p.m. coming the other way. And so it was just that a traffic cop, Fred Elsner, saw the cars racing down the track. And like you said, like there was no one to like radio to him. There was no one to tell him that this was happening. He just saw them and managed to get all the cars and people out of the way.
How do you do that quickly?
I mean, I think he was already used to directing traffic. Like people relied on him to direct them. And so I think that he was enough of an authority figure and he could do that. So I'm sure he was just like whistling and holding out his stop sign and just...
Is there a whistle for imminent danger?
I think there's just like a whole bunch of whistles all at once. You got to get in the tone.
Man, I love this picture. I know exactly where this is at. I walk down this corner all the time. That is a great shot at 3rd and Piasaw.
Isn't that wonderful? That's from 1880, so it's a little bit earlier than this, but I've always wanted to use this photo in something. I mean, I have before, but you can see City Hall right behind it. So we talked a couple weeks ago, about how it burned down in 1924. So before it burned down, it was right there. And then behind that, closer to the river, is where the Union Depot was. And Alton Area Landmarks was actually formed to try to save Union Depot in downtown Alton. They were not successful. It was very sad, but they were successful in getting the highway moved down the river instead of coming straight through downtown Alton. So they continue to do good things for the community, and one of them was preventing that highway.
Sorry for cutting you off.
No,
but
it's fine.
What amazes me looking at that picture, and it just shows you how little I know about these things, is I would expect that was only for a trolley car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
wouldn't
would have
expect,
never
like,
thought that.
Trains.
A literal train.
Like literal, yeah. Like, and not just even just a passenger
No,
train.
that's
like,
a freight liner.
Yes.
I mean, that just shows you, though, how important Alton's landscape was, though, in this time period. I mean, we're still, relevant, but, not like that, where, you're having so much industrial work going through, whether it's through factory and now with transport, and then having the river.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder we were such a thriving, bustling river town for such a long time, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, and we were building the train. Benjamin Godfrey was working on a train from a line from Alton to Springfield in 1852.
It's incredible.
So early, yeah.
Just incredible. So, how did this all happen? So,
okay.
Because I haven't really asked you a single question about this piece yet.
Oh, that's all right. We talked about it.
We've danced around it.
Yeah. So it was coming down the tracks, and Fred Elsner stopped the traffic, stopped the pedestrians, but there's still this imminent threat of it running right into the passenger train. So a railroad worker, again, who just happened to see it, jumped onto one of the front cars and set the brakes. So the train car slowed down and stopped near Union Depot in time to avert the collision. But luckily they were empty. If they hadn't been empty, the weight would have been too great and it wouldn't have been able to be stopped as quickly. So there would have been a crash. But so yeah, it was just like two guys who were paying enough attention to be heroic and stopped several tragedies from happening.
How fast was that train going?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. It didn't have a driver. It didn't have, it was mostly just gravity because it was downhill. So there was.
But that's even more dangerous because you can't control gravity.
Right.
You can't control the momentum that gravity's force has on something.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so fascinating. Is that you or me? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, because I've been kind of on. I've had so many appointments lately. I'm like, what phone call is this? So he was a glass worker for Illinois Glass Company plant for 35 years, and then entered the police service at what age?
You know what? I would have to work backwards.
That would have
from
to be mid-40s, I would assume.
He died in. Oh, that's not the right date. He did not die in 1924. I need to change the date on my sources. I think I just copied and pasted it and then put a new date on there. So he died, I want to say in like the 40s or 50s. He had just become a traffic cop a year or so before this. So this was early in his career, and then he worked for the police department for the next, 15 years? Yeah.
But he was already working for 35.
Yeah.
So that's a 50-year career. He would have had to have been a little bit older.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
when this happened. Well,
Yeah, even then, though.
Yeah, even then he probably would have been in his 40s or 50s.
That's what I'm saying, when he started the job.
True.
Wow. Talk about a career change. I wonder what happened at the glass factory.
Well, I know what happened. It was that they started using more machine manufacturing. And so a lot of the skilled glass workers, the glass blowers, were out of a job.
I think my grandma still has some of my grandpa's pieces from down there. Her grandpa's pieces, because all that. And then I have a book. It's the craziest thing. I don't know if you see. I'm sure you have. The Dwight Eisenhower paintings they gave to the Owens, the Illinois Owen workers. It was like a 1 of 50 set. It was
I don't know about
super
this.
cool. I'll have to show you that book that I have. Super cool piece of history. Like, I guess they gave it to, it was 1 of 300 people inside the building, and they all got Dwight Eisenhower's personal collection of paintings.
Oh, like prints of them?
Yeah, and a really beautiful catalog, and it was really cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, I'll have to send you that too. I just think this is a really fascinating time because, think about it, and not to make light of anything, but that was probably a pretty serious conversation that was had, after you have a runaway train. It's like, well, how did this happen and who's to blame and all of that?
Well, and it was probably some young boys, small boys, who were playing in the train cars and liked to release the brakes to see what happened. So I don't know how young they were, but this was a time when, it's like we are so concerned with over parenting children now, which I do think that kids need to make their own mistakes, figure out their own things, figure out consequences on their own sometimes. But also, like, these were just boys playing on trains that could have killed a whole bunch of people. So it was not great to just have children running around unsupervised all the time.
Well, and honestly, I mean, and it's so bizarre because children in the greatest generation or that era, where we call it is, I mean, they were a lot of times their own parents because no one talks about that too. But, if you look at the statistics from back then, most of the parents were alcoholics. I mean, they did not function. It was they worked and they drank and their kids took care of themselves.
And also a lot of kids, and maybe, I don't know the exact child labor law dates, but like we have a lot of photos of the glassworks from the 1912, that time period. It's a whole bunch of 7-year-olds.
Exactly.
I mean, and they're working at night. They're there for the night shift.
What I find so fascinating too, and that's why I can't wait to talk more with you about this McClure Street thing, is because I mean, you had no heat, you had no water, or you had no air conditioning and all that. So in the wintertime, you're boiling the bath water up and all that. But also the fact that you're selling little glass bottles just to get enough to get a candy bar for the day to eat.
They were making the glass bottles.
Well, not just that, Lacey. They're also boxing them up and taking them back and selling them too, because they're they had to support themselves in so many of those cases.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I find so fascinating is they were kids raising themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a lot of the social programs that can help prevent things like child labor and mortality and all that stuff. Yeah, it is. It is.
And I'm talking 40s at this time, but I mean in the 20s, I mean to see these, because I've seen a few of those shots, and I mean it is literally like going to St. Mary's, grabbing a couple of kids out of class and saying, "You're going to go work at Coat Plastics today."
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's not like they had parents that were abusive or I mean that just was a standard
it was the
thing that happened.
Norm.
Yes, and it was so dangerous and so horrific, and a lot of people really suffered. And I mean, if you survived, you still had the trauma of people that dying in like really awful accidents and other ways.
So, Lacey, what are you writing about next week?
Well, CJ, I'm writing
10:35, Madeline. We're getting there.
I'm writing about a double murder. So.
You should not have had me laugh before that. Oh,
well,
no.
Last week you were disappointed that no one got hurt, and this so I was like, well, I guess I'll find something more violent.
There's not enough death, and now there's too much, Lacey. No, tell me, was this 100 years ago too?
Well, actually, the murder was about 130 years ago, but then 100 years ago, the murderer who had escaped from jail offered to turn himself in if he didn't have the death penalty, which he had been sentenced to previously before he escaped. And this was Missouri, and the Missouri governor said, "I'm not making any promises."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like a real one.
I was just going to summarize an article, and then I spent like 2 days like following all these leads, and I figured most of it out, but it was a big one.
Lacey, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you go to HanerLibrary.org. A ton of great events happening tonight with that DKilgo talk.
Yes.
Plus, coming up on Friday, you got Haunted Hainer.
Oh, that's today too, but that one's full.
Oh,
so
never mind.
if you want to do something tonight, come to DKilgo's program.
On the American Gothic.
On American, the painting.
I'm telling you, I remember.
You remember.
10:24, a quick break, daily show on a Wednesday. Hits you right after this.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Stephanie Shruggy, Challenge Unlimited in the studio. We got Madeline, Eades, Coco, and Oak Grand reopening celebration on Friday, Madeline. Can't wait to talk about that either. Stephanie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, CJ?
You know, it's always a good day when we talk things Challenge Unlimited. Love what you guys do, and a really important month this month. And we were supposed to come on yesterday. I will be the one that says that I did not stay up to date on things. But
No
really
worries.
an important time to raise some awareness on a couple of different topics. And what is October for the folks at home?
So, National Disability Employment Awareness Month is something that started actually in 1945. Initially, the Department of Labor recognized that they needed a week to acknowledge this completely, largely untapped workforce still to this day. So, 1988, actually, they formed the Office of Disability Employment Policy, and they took over kind of the campaign for it. So, it's been annual ever since 1988.
Wow. That's huge.
It is, and it's getting bigger.
And talk about that workforce, too, and how important it is to recognize that, you know, there is a significant number of our workforce that has those situations.
Well, and it's going up even. You know, in the state of Illinois alone, Source America, who is the National Industries for the Blind, one of the organizations that runs the Ability One program, something we're a part of, they did a survey with Mathematica, and about, I think they said 749,000 people in the state of Illinois alone have disabilities between 18 and 64. So, you know, talk about an untapped workforce. To follow that piece of data, you know, only 49% of that population is employed.
Wow.
So, you know, 350,000 people in the state of Illinois alone could be contributing to this staffing problem, the shortage that people are having finding help. And it's just a matter of, you know, getting the awareness out there that, you know, especially with neurodivergence becoming more diagnosed and things of that nature. So those numbers are only growing. Wow. But imagine the difference that could be made if all of those people had jobs.
Well, exactly. You know, because in a lot of times, too, those jobs that, you know, are high turnover jobs, it just seems like from talking to you and looking at some of the numbers that those high turnover jobs don't become high turnover jobs a lot of the times with the individuals that are going into them through Challenge Unlimited. They're there for 5, 10 years, 15, even longer.
Glad you brought that up. There's a lot of data to support that too.
Yeah.
That, you know, retention rates are higher, training costs are lower, work comp claims are even lower because people are safer.
Yeah.
You know, as far as how they do things. So I mean, you know, it's kind of, I was thinking about this earlier. You know, when you live and grow in a world that is not made to accommodate you and you've had to do that your entire life, what skill set does that add in a workforce and the things you think about that maybe somebody else doesn't,
Yeah.
you know? And I can speak for myself in that realm. You know, I got a late diagnosis ADHD at 25.
Right.
You know, and a lot of us, I think, have experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just really, we want to raise awareness around the fact that, you know, these individuals are ready to work, willing to work. And through Challenge Unlimited in particular, you know, we offer training programs, job coaching.
Well, and that's the huge incentive too, because I'm sure that there's companies that go, well, we have this need and we would love to, you know, utilize, you know, folks of all backgrounds to be doing that, but maybe they don't have the adequate training yet to understand their corporate processes and how they need to maybe realign or if they're a right fit. Because sometimes I think that corporations and big companies and no matter small businesses, they got to do a self-evaluation and make sure that they're being that employer for everybody too.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, they really just need to really look at the benefit way outweighs the cost. You know, that's the
100%
thing.
over.
You know, we have milestones through our employment services program where, you know, the job coaches stick with them for 30, 60, 90 days. But then by 90 days, a lot of times these individuals are on their own. They're fully working. They don't need any supports. You know, and they're just an employee you can retain. I know I've come on before with Michelle from ABB, and, you know, they're trying to expand hiring with us because she's like, the people we've gotten through you guys have been amazing, and, you know, they're totally independent, and the benefit that they get from that as individuals, too. Think about it. You know, once you are earning a paycheck, how much better do you feel?
Well, 100% over. Well, and too, I'm sure that a lot of times, and Stephanie, you know this more than I do because you're around individuals with those, you know, disabilities and those, you know, things. Is that it's just that validation that I'm a fit. You know, when you get that paycheck, it's not just I have some money. It's I'm contributing. I'm doing my part, and what that does to morale of anybody that's been told, well, you can just stay at home for 30 years. That's invaluable.
Not to mention the benefits to the local economy because they're
huge
spending
too.
too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's just there's way more benefits than people realize to tapping into this workforce.
Well, and there's so many more statistics that are coming out that are good stats because sometimes I get frustrated with the way that we do measurements because they're not specific measurements. They're just kind of generalized thoughts that are put into, you know, yes or no on surveys. But when you look at, you know, folks that have those have disabilities and all of that, their loyalty rate to local businesses is actually a lot higher than those that aren't. And it's because it's a routine thing I get, but also because of their connections. And they love going to those, you know, it's so much better.
Absolutely.
I mean, they really will continuously go back to local businesses like a Bluff City or you name it and constantly support. And that's something you have to talk about, you know?
Absolutely. You know, even we have groups that we take out into the community to a multitude of places and provide volunteer opportunities.
That too.
To get them trained so that they can look at workforce development and where they should be and what they enjoy doing. So, you know, the library was just here. We send individuals to the library to help them, and they can learn all kinds of skills with cataloging books, and, you know, that's all transferable skills to any job, you know.
100%. And now, what are you guys doing to highlight the values of some of those, you know, workers through Challenge Unlimited through your partners this month of October?
Well, shameless plug tomorrow, and this is a plug for all of us, right? Food is Love is doing. They had to postpone their event at the amphitheater.
Yeah, they're just. You're partnered with them?
We will have individuals down there helping them volunteer. Yes.
That is
to
so
distribute
cool.
food. We've partnered with Food is Love. We're trying to get some things off the ground for training programs with
Why
them.
didn't you tell? I would have plugged that in a heartbeat on that article.
Well,
because that is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Now that's a good component. Seriously, that blows
Yeah.
my mind. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Last day was down here at the Alton Main Streets, you know, What's Up Downtown, and couldn't say enough great things about working with Challenge and all the plans we have for.
That's awesome,
looking at that.
Stephanie.
'Cause food
I wish I
services
would have
is
known
something
that.
we're
Yeah.
into anyway. So.
Oh man, I wish I would have known about that last week.
Well,
now I know.
Now you know. Now you know.
So, well, and too, you know, I think that's a wonderful opportunity because, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. It just seems like when I was in like high school and college, and you see like, you know, maybe someone that has those developmental learning disabilities or anything, they're not in a way that's in an environment that's a normal environment, like, you know, a social gathering. Yeah, some people don't like those larger crowds and those atmospheres. But the folks that want to go to those and be a part of them have every right to be. And oftentimes we're excluded from those.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of, you know, they have fears, right?
Yeah.
People are judgmental. I mean, they
Yeah.
can, you know, the way that people react to it, but it's getting better. And I think that's the point.
100%.
The more we can get out and appreciate that those opportunities are there and, realize that, we're all the same, right? Essentially, you know, with a little bit of a difference. So,
This is really cool that you guys are partnering up with this. So Block Party for Good, what time does that start?
2 to 3:30 tomorrow.
And it's at the amphitheater?
It is.
And how many folks are coming with you down there to help out?
I'm not exactly sure. John Becker actually just called me on the way here and said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to be sending some volunteers down."
We need numbers, John.
Tell him. Leave it in the comments, sir.
Just text me. With that being said, throughout the month of October, what else is coming down the pipeline at Challenge?
Well, we've really been pushing for voter rights and accessibility for voting in the disability community. So we did a voter registration drive at our skills training center a couple weeks ago with the NAACP. And we are, there's 1 week left to register. So we're definitely going to push out all the resources we can because we don't want anybody to have barriers to voting. Reason being, everything is affected. I mean, all the legislation that affects these individuals and their futures is important.
Well, and especially too, and I've had this soapbox for 3.5 years, Stephanie, is with the general election happening with statewide races, but also this consolidated coming down the pipeline in April. I get, federal elections are important. Yeah, that's great. But the more important legislation is being done in our local and statewide sides.
It is so great that you brought that up.
I'm just so tired of
because that's something we've been talking about. I'm like, it's great. We want people registered, and we want them registered regardless, right? But, yes, we want to engage people more in what's happening locally. And, what policies are, we've done some ADA accessibility work through the city downtown, some ARPA funds were used for that. So again, things that people just need to be aware of and know about, and who's in charge of making those rules for them, right?
It's 100% over. I'm glad to hear you say that. And with that being said,
apologies.
No,
guys.
it's okay. It's a live show for a reason. That's why I like doing it live. But I mean, it's just a great thing. And I know that we were coming on to talk about National Disability Employment Awareness Month, but also just some of the statistics says, for over 50 years, the Source America Network supports over 36,000 Ability One employees. And those are huge numbers. Through Challenge Unlimited this year, what are some of the things you'd like to kind of share or talk about with the work that you're doing in this role alone?
Well, I'm great. You are just on it today, CJ. So the theme for this year's Department of Labor theme for this NDEAM is actually access to good jobs for all. So that being said, Challenge has a really strong footprint in the food service industry, janitorial services, custodial, some administrative work. But we're really trying to expand those opportunities to people with different skill sets. So call centers, IT, we're looking to start partnering with some of the, local community organizations that provide some of that, like level 1 help desk work, CompTIA training, those kind of things. So we're really trying to provide positions that offer a lot of upward mobility for these individuals because the Ability One program is great. We have a lot of people who successfully move into supervisory roles or management positions, team leads. But, when we talk about neurodivergence, right. Particularly the IT sector is a place where these people can thrive.
100. I'm so glad you brought, because I just saw, was it Statista I saw that on? But I mean, just the success rates were amazing, and not just the success rates, but that company's IT department would grow exponentially too.
Absolutely.
That it's really unique.
You'd be amazed at how the data management and I mean it's crazy.
And for so many people, that's the thing that keeps them up at night. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so instead of you're always, it's not how good you are as a boss, it's how good your team is around you. Absolutely. And if a team is everyone that looks identical to you or thinks exactly like you or does the same habits and goes out to the same places, you're never going to be successful. Your team's as good as whoever's around you. So when you have folks that are thriving in IT that are a little bit different, so what? So is my neighborhood.
Right. Well, and to that point, I mean, let's be honest. Those of us who have worked in and with IT, a lot of us are different anyway. So adding that additional difference is
a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
a very good point.
It's a great environment. So we're really looking to partner with businesses who can offer those kind of services.
Now, how can businesses reach out and want to utilize Challenge Unlimited, want to have that conversation about partnering up and spearheading that growth?
Well, there's a multitude of ways, as always, but www.cuinc.org.
It's a wonderful website and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Designed by RiverBender, shameless plug. It is beautiful, though. You guys did a great job. So there's a contact form, cuinc.org, if they prefer to reach out that way. You can also email bizdevelopment@cuinc.org. That's B-I-Z, development@cuinc.org. So that's another way. And obviously, we'll always take your phone calls. Dial that 618-465-0044, and then we'll get you to the right extension, whatever the services are you're looking for. Same would go for anybody who's looking for employment or interested in learning more about services.
I gave out my personal cell phone yesterday. I was giving out the work line, and I was, you're good, because I am just not good. Stephanie, we got to have more conversations with Challenge Unlimited and really keep talking about this and raising awareness to this workforce, because I'm so tired of hearing there's shortages. We just aren't maybe thinking.
Businesses are closing their doors because they can't staff. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like I think sometimes we think too hard as a society when the solution's just right in front of us.
Absolutely.
And would love to have more conversations with this. We'll link everything in an article on RiverBender.com. Stephanie, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be talking to you again soon, I think.
Oh, you will. I've got a shameless plug for a Department of Labor graduation coming up in November. So
good.
I'll
So you better be coming on
weeks.
back. And you better be coming right back after this commercial break.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
As they drag you by your feet, but the hangman isn't hanging, and they put you on the street. Yeah, you go back, Jack, do it again. Wheel turning round and round, you go back.
God, thank you that these microphones are muted during a commercial break.
Oh my God.
10:44, a little bit of change on the second day of October. What are you doing Friday? Like literally all day Friday. going down to Coco and Oaks grand reopening. Madeline Eades.
Yes.
Good morning.
I am so excited. Finally, we're here. It's a couple days away, and I'm looking forward to Friday. So Friday is our grand reopening in our new location. If you don't know where that is yet, if you're familiar with Alton, it's next to Bossa Nova in the Olive Oil Marketplace.
The new lunch spot of Alton, Bossa Nova.
It is. Oh my gosh. So I've heard Bossa Nova is killing it with lunch.
Are you ready for this? I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm going down for lunch tomorrow. No,
Are you?
Friday, because I'm going to have fun.
Well,
on
you'll
Friday.
be there,
Yeah.
so you'll see some of the excitement happening next door. So 110 West 3rd Street, downtown Alton, Coco and Oak, bringing it for round 2 in our new location. And so I'm super excited. I hope everybody comes out, checks it out.
How is the mindset right now looking into the eye of the storm?
Optimistic is the only word. I think as a business owner, when you're launching something or starting something new or you're relocating, anything like that, you're always hopeful that people will jump on the wagon.
Well, and honestly, if you guys need any more information, because I knew what was coming down the pipeline, I was prepared. If you guys haven't looked at the calendar, I'm back to work now. Like all of the people that are competing with me are in trouble because now I can focus again. And if you go over here to the community calendar, you can see it right there on the on your screen there. And it'll take you right to where you need
look
to
at
go.
that.
Took care
That's
of you.
nice looking.
Oh, yeah, just kind of simple to the point, tells you what you need. 9 to 9 on a Friday, get your butt over there and have some fun. Now, how's the space going to differ?
So the space is a little more streamlined. It's a little more modern.
Okay.
And the clothing is all new. So it's a whole new vibe. I mean, I think like when you move, you kind of reinvent yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. We're evolutionizing the Coco and Oak brand. I think people are really going to love what Coco and Oak's bringing.
So, I mean, honestly, too, I think it's a really great opportunity for so many people because, I mean, you hit the perfect time. We are 2 months away from when your Christmas shopping should pretty much be done.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It ain't December 23rd. You should be done, ahead of time.
And that's so true because not only is it Friday Coco and Oak's grand reopening, but then they have First Friday starting.
That's right.
So that it is a great time to start your Christmas shopping. So if you don't know what First Fridays is and you're local with, you're a local or maybe you want to come over for, something fun to do from, I think it's 5 to 9. There's a trolley you can hop on around town and stop at all the awesome stops and get your Christmas shopping done.
Okay, shameless plug. I am really proud of the team and myself. Can we just go? There are 26 different things to do Friday, 41 different things to do Saturday.
You could spend the whole weekend here.
23 things to do on Sunday, but the big thing that you got to do is stop by and see Madeline. All the work that's gone into this. I mean, I know that you were on a couple weeks ago talking about the process, but now is it feeling real yet? Like, did it feel real already?
We're in the home stretch. I mean, I feel like I'm still tying up some loose ends,
Sure.
And I'm a perfectionist. So
I
don't know that I'll ever be 100% ready because I'm always searching for more and how to be better and trying to always better myself and better my business. But I think it's amazing and I'm really proud of it and where it's going and where it's come from and. So it's super exciting. And if you have been to the old Coco and Oak, thank you for that. I hope you follow us over to our new location because you won't be disappointed.
Well, and too, it's going to be really cool to see that and I don't know who owned the spot before that or what was going on in there.
It's always pretty much been mostly, I think, kind of a retail space.
Well, the last time, though, I just didn't see a lot
They had a salon.
That's what it was.
And cosmetics in there. So technically a retail space, but with services too.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's a long-standing kind of a retail location. I'm just so happy to bring, clothing retail to the heart of downtown. Even though, I was downtown before, being around the corner makes a huge world of difference as far as visibility is concerned. But I do think, people who come to town love to spend the day walking around and checking out all the little shops and restaurants and things like that. And this is just one more thing for them to be able to do when they come to downtown. And so, I'm happy to be a part of that. And I'm looking forward to getting to know all my new neighbors. I haven't had much time to venture out yet. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. I probably should do a little lap around the block when I leave here and go and introduce myself.
It's a great walk.
It is a nice walk. I'm a city girl. So before I had children and a family, I was a diehard city girl. And, this is kind of like a nice little, throwback to that.
Yeah.
And I think downtown Alton is really in an up and up right now. There's a lot of great things happening down here. There's a lot of amazing businesses that are starting to come in. There's, amazing long-standing businesses that have been here forever that are a staple of downtown. So, definitely you need to start coming over and checking it out.
Yeah.
And, if you live in town, you need to get out and start spending time in downtown. It is a really cool location. It definitely should be utilized. People should enjoy it. So I'm thrilled.
Honestly, yeah. And there's a lot of spaces. Even if you don't want to go and maybe you don't want to go eat lunch, go sit in Hayner's little reading park over there and grab a sandwich and then keep shopping.
There's so many cute little nooks and crannies of Alton and downtown and even up through Broadway. I mean, you really can spend the day just kind of on an adventure, checking everything out.
100%. And now, Madeline, with this, from 9 to 9, what can we expect?
Oh my gosh. So we're opening at 9 a.m. From 5 to 8 p.m. We're giving away tote bags with your purchases. We'll have some other goodies that will be there in the morning as well. We have some wonderful vendors that are going to be at our location. So it's definitely something to come in and check out, a great place to start your Christmas shopping and, get out there, see what's out there.
I love it. I think this is great. And now, any deals or anything, or just going in and shopping?
I haven't decided yet. Those will be top secret surprises when you get in the door. So definitely just, give it a chance. See what it's all about. If you haven't been to it before, now's your chance to come see what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, Madeline, how's the family been as you're getting into this mode?
You know what? Family's doing great. I heard you had the girls' tennis team on here this week. So my oldest daughter's hitting her senior year, and they're having a pretty awesome tennis season. She actually has senior night Thursday night. So, on top of all the things that I'm finishing up, I'm finishing that up too. It's exciting, Everybody's just, my kids are awesome. They're very happy for me. They're happy to be a part of it. They're proud. They tell their teachers about it and all the things and all the sales. My youngest daughter likes to pass out my business cards. So I think she's
That's good.
I mean, if all else fails, my youngest daughter is my biggest fan.
Now, what are your hours going to be after Friday?
So after Friday, we're going to look at a Tuesday through Saturday schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We will do mornings. We will take a break mid-afternoon for lunch. And then we will be open through the evenings now. So for all that dinner crowd, if you're going out to dinner, you can pop in and do some shopping after work.
That's really cool.
It's kind of nice, I have such a variety of customers. I have people who are retired, and stay-at-home moms that can come during the day. But I have a lot of working ladies who want to shop after work, and there's really not a lot of places to go after 5 p.m., So I'm happy to just embrace that because I'm a working mom too. So those late hours are going to be awesome.
That is really cool. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I really am excited for you. I think this is going to be a great spot. And I know that, any transition, it's exciting, but always a little bit nerve-wracking when you're grabbing onto the seat. But Madeline, you're in a perfect spot. I mean, you are right next to the yoga studio and the smoothie shop and Max and Cats.
Hello. That's just amazing. I'm honestly just thankful to be a part of whatever's already happening down here.
Did you ever think you'd find yourself, in that much of the heart of downtown? Because that is one of the best spots you can be in.
I don't know where I'm going to land 5 minutes from, every day. I have number one, I have 4 kids, and life can change in an instant, right? So no, I've never had any expectations, really. I've always just kind of jumped off the deep end and hoped for the best. I think if you have that kind of mentality and you're in business, that's really great because disappointment and setbacks can come at any time. Yeah. So I think if you're just kind of optimistic and, still a little bit cautious and, you just ride the wave and you go where it takes you. And, I went into this always thinking I'll ride it till the wheels come off. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all you can really do. You put yourself out there and you really hope that people appreciate what you're bringing and, show up for you. And I love this town. You know, I like being a part of this town. I like volunteering in this town. I like, you know, all the things, you know. So Alton's, they're kind of my people. You know, and not even just Alton. I've gotten a lot of ladies from like Jerseyville and Edwardsville that make the drive just to come to my store, which makes a girl feel pretty dang special. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys can stay up to date all the time by going to Coco and Oak's Facebook page and then seeing some of their inventory too. But also, your first event is set for December the 7th.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're bringing Santa back. Santa is coming back to Coco and Oaks. So we have an amazing Santa, and he came last year, and he was a huge hit, and he is just taking pity upon me, and he's coming back again. I think he had a great time. So I'm looking forward to having him show up, make the kids' dreams come true. It's a good time to get out shopping. Plus, you can bring your kids to visit with Santa. You don't have to wait in long lines at the mall.
No.
So that's always a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely, Madeline. And now getting back into this Friday at 9 a.m., Coco and Oaks grand reopening. Their new location at 110 West 3rd Street, right next door to us. Almost.
Pretty much. I'm like, what, 3 doors down? Like that big? no pun.
Let me win. Okay.
Yes. So literally like 3 doors down.
Don't let her be your kryptonite.
That's right. Or perhaps you do. I don't know. You're going to love it, though. I can't wait. I'm excited for Friday.
Very excited for you. I really am. I am I got a good track record, Madeline, of having good feelings and bad feelings.
I just have to say, like, thanks to you and the Riverbender for always being so supportive of, like, me or, like, the Athletic Association, anything that I've ever been involved in, and all the things going on in the community. I think what you guys do is a huge service for everybody, and it definitely gives people a way to stay in the know, and I think that's great.
Here's that 50.
No.
No,
Yes.
but Matt, it's really cool because all it's about is being that town square, and we have people doing good stuff. You talk about it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what's going to be on the shelves from 9 to 9 on Friday?
Oh my gosh, we have so many different vendors. We have a floral vendor, we've got candles, we've got, obviously some home decor, we've got boo baskets, we've got...
What did you just say? You got boo baskets?
We have boo baskets. So those became a huge hit last year. It's a thing. It's kind of a gift basket you can give to your girlfriends or friends.
That's cool.
If you're going to a housewarming party, they're great for that. We have beautiful wreaths and centerpieces. Obviously, we have gorgeous aesthetic clothing. There's so much. And not even that, I think we also have like a vendor who does dog treats and dog toys.
That's amazing.
There's a little bit of something for everybody in there. There really is. It's definitely, we've upped kind of our gifty section quite a bit, and we're even adding in some souvenirs. So if you're traveling to Alton or you're getting off on the cruise ship in Alton, you can pop in and we'll have some beautiful Alton merchandise so you can remember your trip here. So...
Okay, sorry. To the individuals that are accusing us already of doctoring photos, I can't take any more messages. I just don't care. Okay, so back to Madeline. Sorry, Madeline.
It's tough out there in those streets, CJ.
It's tougher than heck. But getting in, if folks want, your online store is still online, correct?
Oh my gosh, yes. So if you can't make it down, you're definitely going to want to jump online on Friday because there's going to be some deals to be had online as well. If you're not local, we absolutely ship everywhere in the world. So, if you want to be a part of it, you still can. You can shop from home and, that'll be great.
And honestly, I just can't wait for it. And Madeline, I'm so excited for you. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., the grand reopening.
Grand reopening.
Of Coco and Oak.
Hard to believe.
Right honking next door. You just got to go a couple of doors down, and you're there to go. Madeline, best of luck on Friday. Let me know how it goes.
Thanks for having me.
We are out of time today, but I will see you all back here live at 9 tomorrow for more of our daily show, Theater Thursday, and stay tuned. Until then, just try your best, as always, to stay out of jail.